Hi, it's Hazy and welcome to my channel. Today I'm showing you how to paint these lovely flowers and showing you how I paint that lovely face. And talking about negative space as well. And telling you all about brushes and papers. Watercolour papers, brushes to use, things like that. I have got a limited supply at the moment because I can't find my brushes. So we just used what we had. Okay, and I don't usually paint faces, I just usually draw them. And I don't usually draw them on camera either. Okay, so let's go and I'll show you what to do. Thank you. Okay then, so let's have a go. Right, so brushes. That's a children's brush. That's not very, I wouldn't say that was very, I haven't got any, oh, no, that's not really. No, I haven't really got any examples. That's a really, really basic brush. I don't know what you could use that for effects, I suppose, if you wanted to make some really rough effects. So we're talking about brushes at the moment. Yes, that's really rough effects. You could use that for rough effects. That's really cheap. That would be great if you haven't got a jelly press and you want to get a background going. Yeah, brilliant for rough effects. You won't be able to paint anything smooth or really control them very well. What else have we got here? Oh, this one, that's got like a graded thing. I assume that's for if you wanted to paint a line, because you need a bit of a slope on your brush. Because if you painted it like that, obviously, well, you could paint it like that if you needed the end, but that's basically for painting lines and things like that. Now this is the one, isn't it, that I'm using? This is the one I haven't got anymore. Believe it or not, I haven't got the one I wanted anymore. So I'm going to try it. It's a size 6. I do reckon it's not a very good quality one. So it's probably going to create really bad, but I can't find the one that I had. That's a different type of, oh, that's a 3. That's a small one. Let's have a look. I would use, wait a minute, what would I use? I would use that definitely to paint flowers with, because that's what we're doing today. That's a size 2 and that's got a flat, because you do need a bit for the petals. You do need a bit of light, sort of like area for the petals, so you can use it and it will go round. Look, it would go round. Now this one, I'm not keen on this one. I'm going to try it because it's got, look, it's not very good quality. I would say student quality is absolutely fine if you're beginning to do watercolours. And right, paper I have got here, and I'm going to try them all. Is just copy paper. This is actually American copy paper, because this is the only light paper I've got at the moment till Thursday. I'm getting a massive load of copy of paper, but that's the only size copy paper. You see it's slightly smaller than our A4 by that much. You see that by that much there, and a bit wider than our A4 paper. So that's the difference. It's got quite a big difference there, but not so much on the edges. Okay, any note to people who make digitals? There's a bit more room here than there is here. Because sometimes when I'm doing American, they've only got the American sizes. They miss off the edges. No. Right, this one's at 160 GSM. I think that's the equivalent to, is it not, what's it, pounds? Oh, they used to do it all the time on Victoria Designs. Is it £59, I think. That's the equivalent to £59. That's 160 GSM paper. So I got that, and that is in between these somewhere. That's I'm not sure if it's the 120 or the 100. But anyway, that's a little bit. That's what I'm using today, because I think it just because you need practice. Right, there's different types of watercolor actual paper. This is a really cheap pad from what do you call that type of shop? Stationery shop. And this it doesn't say it is, but it's called, I think it's sort of more like not pressed. No, it doesn't mean it isn't pressed. What it means by not is, let me write that down. Right, this is the cover of the paper, it's come off. Right, so not pressed doesn't mean it's not pressed. It means it's cold pressed. And that means it's textured. Hot pressed is smoother and generally more expensive. Okay, so not pressed is cold pressed, and that's very textured. This is quite textured, so it's very good for watercolors. But if you're using mixed media, so perhaps hot pressed is perhaps more like mixed media when you're using crayons, you're using, sorry about my writing, mixed media. What do I put? Media. You're using crayons and watercolor, because obviously when you're using crayons you don't need it really textured. So if you're using crayons and watercolor, hot pressed is better. So if you ought to go into more professional stuff. But not pressed is it's just called not. I can't remember, it stands for something. It's just not. And it's called cold pressed, and that's textured. That's that. I assume that's right in America. If you can't understand that, look it up and it might tell you, because on the internet or something, because it will probably tell you more details if you don't understand that. I think that's what we say in the UK anyway. Hot pressed is smoother and generally more expensive. So that's that. Other papers, as I've said, the other ones. So because just using the dogs jumping around, we're just using just copier paper today. I mean, I do usually use this when I'm drawing flowers, painting flowers, but it's it's quite a big surface. It's twice as big as the copier paper. So I'm going to try that today. Let's have a go, and I'm going to try these to see if these brushes do work. I'll tell you what. Let's just get these lights down a bit, because oh dear, that's not bending as much as it should, and it might have the shadow of got the shadow of the phone in the way. Look. Never mind. Right, so I'm going to try that. What's this one? That's a 3. These are really thin. You don't need the really thin ones. That's a 1, unless you're doing the detail. But what I'm going to do with the detail is possibly use a black pen and a white pen. I'll see if I can find them. Or even a biro. Biro as in ball, and all that. As in a ballpoint pen. Let's just try and see if that one works. Yeah, that one's fine. You can use anything like that with this if you want to define the detail. You know, like when you ink things up around the edge of something, if you draw around it, it will do the same effect. Right, so I've got here, let's have a look which ones I would use. I would use that for painting flowers. I would use that, but I'm just trying to, that's 3. That would be for the really details if you're not using any outliner. Let's see what else we've got. What else was I going to use? I was going to use something else. Is it this one? I'd try that one. I don't know what that's got on it. It's got something on there. These are just ones I've found in the drawer, because I don't know if I just told you. I can't find me. There's a tin of them somewhere. But we're just going to work with what we can find, eh? How about that? So let's go for it and work with what we can find. And I'll do my best for you. And there's that one as well. Let's try. I don't think that one's very good. It's probably been used for glue sometime. Or I haven't washed it or something. Let's have a go. I'm not very good at doing things like washing my stuff. Yeah, that's a bit better. Oh, there's the one I was going to use. I'm going to try that anyway. That's it. Yeah, I had a cum, C-K-U-M, size 6 brush, and it was really good. So perfect for watercolours. It vanished. Don't know where it went. I haven't got one in there, no. Right, so let's try the 75 GSM, which is £20 paper, American paper. So let's try that, shall we, and see how we go with that. I'm going to use, I would prefer out of all these is possibly to use this one. Where's the other one? I'm sure there was a thinner one. Wasn't there a thinner one of those? Well, perhaps not then. I could still use that one, that's fine. I know it wouldn't recommend using these. You'd recommend using a round brush. If you get a round brush, that would be better. But my round brush is very dodgy that I've got here, so it doesn't really matter. So you aren't. Oh, if you wanted to, I could use a pen instead. But oh, hold on, there's that a pencil. Yeah, pencil, found one. And you can rub that out afterwards. That's just an ordinary HB pencil. So what you would do is, I know it's got wet underneath now because I've been messing about with water, but no, it doesn't matter. You can also get your surface wet as well if you want, and it would flow the colours about a bit, but it would make it more soft, very soft. It would make it very, very soft. Right, so I'm going to draw. What you do is, let's draw a circle. Okay, so you was doing a 4-petaled flower. You'd basically perhaps want to make sure, if you wanted to make sure you got the ends in the middle, try and draw the it don't matter if it's not in the middle because flowers aren't even anyway. Look, I haven't even got that in the middle, but that doesn't matter. And then basically go in the middle of those lines and draw a little petal like that. And draw a little petal just like this. It doesn't matter if the petals aren't even at all. We're just going for it, okay? And then you could draw a leaf behind the petals. Now normally I draw the leaves sort of like that, so to come up like that into the middle of that and come up, and that works. Okay, like that. Okay, if you want to, this is for anybody who's drawing in there who wants to do a bit of painting in junk journals and things like that, because that's what all my videos are all about. Right, so that's I'm going to get some yellow. Can't see what I'm doing. Let's have a look. So what I'm doing is, wait a minute, let's see if I can just get that over there a bit. Where are we? Down here. Oh yeah, I can see, that's just about to see the end of that, can't I? Right, normally I nearly always do the middle's yellow. And don't forget, I am not a watercolour painter, okay? In fact, my watercolours work so well with the grungy look of so I'm just using what we have. So this is what we basically do in junk journals, don't we? Use what we have. That's too thick really for watercolour. You're supposed to really watery like this. You can just use what you can. It works ever so well. Then you build the colour. You're supposed to build the colour up. So I want to teach you like this first, rather than the way I normally do it. Right, okay, so that's that. Then you can add a little bit more colour. Just add a little bit more colour. You can mix it on a palette if you like, if you're not confident to mix it on a palette. I'm just putting or you can mix it on a glass or something. Piece of glass, like people do. I'm just getting a bit more colour in the middle there because it's got more colour there, look. So basically that's it, and then you can do some liney effects with a different colour if you like, using different. I'm also mixing colours We're not doing this particular flower. Hold on, we're not even getting any colours on, are we? Why aren't we getting any colours on? Because I'm not wet enough. Right, let's have a look. Here we go. Oh no, that's a bit too much, isn't it? No, it isn't, because we're doing what we like. There you go. How about that? And then at the end, I've just taken a bit of colour off the brush with my finger. But at the end, you can perhaps add a bit more colour there. Like that. Right, and rinse your brush. This one's working fine, actually. I thought it'd be really bad. And I'm going to get a dark green. Try and get it quite watery. As we do. As you do. Like I normally don't actually get very muddy. And then we add some colour. There we go. And I'm going to add the other green as well in a minute, because I want to. Okay, so we're doing all this with not caring, just having fun. Basically, that's what you want to do with this. You want to just have a bit of fun, and you might discover your own little way of doing things. Okay, this mine's just obviously a guide. And there, so that's a little flower. Look, and look, it's got little pretty bits on it and everything. I'm going to add a bit of that, even though it's got that green on it still. I'm going to add a bit to there again, because it's not even helped. Right, there we go. So there we go. So we've got, and afterwards, probably when that's dry, I would come in with some white, and where it's lighter, add even more light on there, and possibly in the middle, put a few dots on it here and there, around, especially around the middle. I'll show you that when it's dry, because it will be dry in a minute. So things like that. So let's do another one now. Let's have a different one. So if you wanted to do one with a different thing, let's get our 4 points again. This is easier to do, I think, in 4 points. Go in the middle and bring it down there, where that comes in, the imaginary line there. And again, it doesn't matter if you don't get it right, because I haven't looked. Oh, actually, it's not too bad. I thought I hadn't. But there we go. So even if you think you haven't got it right, you probably have. So basically just curving round. And if you don't know how long you're going to do it, just perhaps either draw a circle round. Don't need to use a compass. Otherwise, if you use a compass, you will never get it. You'll just have to use a compass all the time. Using your free hand, it helps you. So just basically have a circle there, and just all you've got to do is make sure that and the circle is about the same distance each time. So keep looking. Don't just go like this. Well, it doesn't make a can if you like. It's up to you. I mean, you can. Why not? You can sort of like do a circle there and do a circle there, and then do it, and just do it like this, and that's out of sync and everything, and that would make an amazing flower. Oh, so it's just that it's perhaps a bit arty. How about that? An arty flower. Let's have that as an arty flower. Okay, you can do it like, and I'm just suggesting things. Okay, just taking a recording there, because I'm thinking to myself, I'm saying all this to myself. Right, so I'm going to put a green middle now. I'm going to do one with a greeny middle, or greenish middle. Let's get a bit of yellow first, and then grab a bit of that. We always do this, you know. Getting a bit off the edge there. Grabbing a bit there. I'm using this brush now, so you can see that brush doesn't always go where you want it to, but it'd be good for painting petaled. Actually, it's better for painting. You've just got to be more careful around the edge. You've got to, if you've only got a brush like this, what you could do is sort of like use the edges, twist it round, and then use it. That's what I would do. But a round brush is better. A round brush is much better. Okay, so I'm going to do a yellow flower now. Let's get the yellow ochre flower. I'm going to make it a little bit more. I've added a bit of green to it, because I like green flowers for some reason. Yeah, for some reason I like green flowers. I don't know why I was doing green flowers. Right, and there we go. That's a neutral sort of beigey colour even. Okay, and that's got enough there to do this one. Look, I'm very carefully doing there. Normally I don't even do the pencil lines, but and you can add all sorts of colours to that if you like. And these would be quite good as doing lines as well. So let's have some orange. Let's have a bit stronger orange. I'm trying to get a bit more watery, although. So let's go in the middle like we were. I'm just going to do another 3 lines on each one. Another 3 lines. I mean, another 2 lines on each one even. And go around the edge there. Any way you like. Well, it's a bit stronger there, isn't it? So I just offered some Pringles, so I didn't resist them. There we go. How about that? And then obviously you can draw a leaf if you like, a couple of leaves. Is that getting dry? I'm going to put some white on it in a minute. Same before. Doesn't matter if it isn't even in the middle. Look, and leaves are all different shapes, so. And that's just the impression. This is just stylized flowers. It's not supposed to be perfect, and it works so well as a fussy torn thing in your journal, as you've probably seen me do before. Right, okay, let me get some green on that. Let's use the, I know I'm using the wrong brush really. Perhaps I should have been using the same brush, but I do like this one. This is the 6. And put our details in with pen. If you want to do some more colour on one side or something, or perhaps in the middle, it's up to you, on both sides like that. Okay. Right. I don't know if it's dry enough to try this yet. So I'm just coming along and just edging it up basically, giving it a bit of an edge, which are actually round petals, isn't it? Doing hearts. Not that I know where my white pen is. Might have to go and find them, or I can use this. I've got some watercolour white. I've got any white pen? No. Right. So what I've got is, if I can get it out. See, they'll be fighting with this. Right, so I'm trying to get fighting with it. Right, so I've got this white. This is Arteza. This is an Arteza set. Arteza, isn't it? Arteza. It's probably actually Arteza, isn't it? Usually, everybody except for English would say E. This would say not E. So that's that. Let's see if I've got a thin pen. There's that one. That might be. I don't know if that would work. Usually they're not very good, you know. Oops, oh dear, squirted out. Let me put some on my palette. I've got some on my palette over there, look. I'll show you there, look. I've got some on there. And you've got to have this fairly thick, otherwise you won't see it. So I'm going to come on like this. I'll use this as a white. So you've got a Posca pen or something like that, which I always use. It's the best one to use, I think. But all sorts of, sorry about my coughing, if I did cough on film, if not, that's the reason why it's cut off. Right, saw that, those crisps. So what I'll do is a bit of stippling in there, so that gives it a bit of a, and I'll possibly come along and do this as well, give it a bit of stylisation. Okay, so that's giving it a bit of highlight. Look, it's come outside there, that doesn't matter to me. Okay, right, so I can do it with this one as well now. Give it a few dots of, because obviously the petals are often ridged, aren't they? So you give it a bit of a, so like, it's basically like doodling. Okay, I can show you some doodles as well if you want. How to doodle. That's what another thing I was asked as well, is how to doodle, basically. So I could show you that on a page. I could show you that on my black and white journal, actually. That'd be nice. Right, so let's have a look. Just coming along there, and then I'm going to come in afterwards with my pen. Now normally I don't use these, but just a biro, just to give it some definition around the edges, and don't do it hard, don't press on hard, just leave it, let the pen rest basically on the paper, and just come round here and make sure it, so if you press hard you've got sort of a really hard black line like that, and that's not quite what we want. Possibly, I mean, you might want that. I'm just saying what I think that you might not want, so it's up to you. If you don't agree, that's fine, don't worry about it. I'm not going to argue with anybody, because I think you should, if you want to create, I'm basically doing lines there, that's quite interesting. So you can make that as a stylized, you know, you could do even do crosses like a doodle. You can even come in a little bit on these, look, just a little bit at the bottom there, and give it a bit of a definition there as well, or even at the edges there, very slightly. I'm doing it there, look, and I'm not letting this pen doesn't work brilliantly, so that's even better really. Okay, it's just basically getting that a bit. Okay, so that gives it a bit of a shadow or shaded feel there. Let's do a bit on the leaves. And you do it on one side of the leaves, or the leaves might bend a bit in the middle perhaps. There we go, that's worked really well. I like the way that's gone. It's quite stippled, isn't it? Quite variegated. Let's do our stylized leaf now. Let's do our arty piece. Did I use this one earlier? I was using that one, wasn't I? Let's get a nice, as I always do, a little yellow middle. Don't know why, strange. Oh, it's yellow or green anyway. I think they often are lighter, aren't they? That's probably why I'm thinking. And you don't have to at all. You can do a bright red middle and blue edges, because I've seen that before as well, but I'm just doing semi-realistic colours. Okay, so let's get the, and I would like you to perhaps start with a round brush rather than one of these. The round brush is more like this rather than a flat brush like that, but I'm using a flat brush because I want to. So if you want to use a flat brush, you use a flat brush. Okay, you do what you like. Right, and I'm going to swap brushes now. So I'm going to come in with a bit of, say, a different colour. Like, let's have blue, shall we, for a change? Shall we have blue, or shall we have turquoise, or both? Let's mix them up. And I'm going to come along here and go along like this. because I want to. Okay, so you make that into like that, and you do what you like. You can make up your flowers. If you want to draw a specific flower, it might be worth having a look at them and practicing, or general. Let's find that, because some flowers, if you look, I mean, some flowers have got that lovely heart-shaped petal like this, haven't they? So it's worth looking to see what shapes they are, the real flowers are. And if you're drawing anything real at all, right, it's very difficult for me to explain how to, but if you were drawing a flower that's if you're drawing an actual flower, a real life flower, and it's a daffodil, I have no idea what, I can't remember what they look like. There's something like this, and then they've got like a middle like that sort of thing, and then they've got a little thing inside, haven't they? So if it's something like that, what you're looking at is the distance between that, and the distance. Now, can you see that? I'm not sure. Let me just get it a bit more stronger. So you're looking at the negative shapes. Now ignore this line there. Negative shapes are anything between the actual object. So if you're drawing a hand, that's the negative space here. So you're looking at the shape of the negative space as well as the actual thing. But that's very, very important to look at in drawing. So if you're drawing a pair of scissors, look at the shape of that. All scissors are different, and also that's different thickness to this, looking at it. Okay, perhaps it's not in real life, perhaps in real life it's completely different, but that at that angle, that might be thinner than this. So you can't look at it what you think it is in real life. You have to look at it what you have to look at it as the shape. So if you're drawing a face, you have to look at the shape, the shapes. The negative space could also be, if you're drawing a face, right, so if you're drawing the eyes and everything, like this, there's my face. Let me draw one of my faces, why not? Right, so here's a face. Right, this is a doodle, basically, because look at, she looks angry. Never mind. Right, she's probably not, she's just the way her eyebrows are. So let's do I don't even draw those lines or anything, I just do that. When I was drawing those cats the other day, I was just using negative space. I wasn't bothering to draw shapes. I've not taught myself that, that's the trouble. Right, so this is basically a face, look. Now you're looking at negative shapes, right? You're looking at the distance between the eyebrows here. What distance are they? What's the distance between the edge of the eye and the nose, and where does this fall? Basically here, look, the edge of the eye is against the edge of the nose, and then the corner of the mouth is the basic mouth there. Okay, and then I'm just drawing it just like this because that's how I do it. Okay, cause that looks more like a face, and then you sort of like come along with the and then you sort of like draw the chin underneath where the mouth is. I mean, faces aren't symmetrical anyway, because if you look, if people's faces were symmetrical, they would look really weird. Okay, so that's basically that shape there. And I'm tempted to colour her in now, I'm tempted to paint her. Let's have a look. Paint wise, I get some of that white, because I'm going to do as basically a white female. Right, okay. Where's the colours? Oh, I'm using a bit of red. What flesh colour is? Let me just draw this. I don't know why I'm doing this. If you don't like this, don't bother. But in fact, you'd be either fascinated. Right, so I'm basically doing a pinky colour for her face. I've not painted anything for you. See, this is just copier paper. This is just 75 GSM or £20. It is actually £20 because it's the American paper. I bought this because I wanted to do some digitals. One side of the face will be lighter than the other because we've got light that side. Let's do some forehead. Let's get the different brush. Where's my 6? What colour have we got on my 6? Probably purple. Right, doesn't matter what colour it is, it's actually blue. I'm going to add them to be black. Okay, should we give her, let's see, let's give her nice turquoisey blue eyes. That's what colour my husband's eyes are. Lovely turquoisey blue. There we go. Alright, and then you need a bit of shading. I wouldn't use black yet. I would put shading down the nose and underneath the eyebrows and there and here and there and whoops and whoop. Oh, that'll do. We're not doing it perfectly. Just giving the impression of a shadow under ears, and there's the holes in ears. Give it a brown eyebrow if you like. Come along and there we go. Let's do this. There we go. And then I'll do the side of a face. So, not really done this before, especially on video. But let's have a look. Right, so I'm just going to get a bit more colour on there. That's it. So I'm just coming along here. And if you notice underneath people's cheekbones, they start to get a bit of a dip there. And sometimes where the mouth is as well. And under the chin. Okay, so they've got the light coming in that side. Still having a bit of perhaps shading here. Okay, should have a bit of shade in there perhaps. And her nose. Okay. And then you can come along with a pen if you like this. Give it a bit of a detail and come around on the nose. So if you noticed, I didn't come. I just basically did this side of her eye, darken her eye, and then like that. Okay, there we go. It's like a fairy, doesn't it? Pointed ears now. Right, so I used to always draw fairies. There we go, there she goes. I'll give her a bit of hair if you like as well. I'm not sure what to do. What colour shall we give her? Shall we give her a brownie or a gingery? How about a gingery? Gingery brownie, how about that? I'll give it a bit of black in there as well. You can do what colour hair you like. There we go. Right, so to make sure you got the top of the head right, you measure from there to there and there. That's the top of her head. That's the actual head. The hair would be slightly more. You'd have to ignore the flower. So just give her a bit of a shape there. So it's not really, it's probably not what you wanted to see. You wanted to see a bit more, didn't you? But okay, give it a bit of brown and black, and she's got brown, black, ginger, and there. Or he, if you like, if you want it to be a boy, can it be a boy? Because it looks like either, doesn't it? Sometimes I draw girls and say, oh, that looks like a man. Oh, that looks like somebody I know, and it's a man. Oh, okay. So if you want it to be, if you want to give her a bit of colour as well, A bit of colour, there you go. My daughter's got, what colour has my daughter got at the moment? Oh my god, what is it? It's, I think she dyed it yellow and it's gone a bit green because she had it green last time, and that looks a bit like it, that doesn't look like anything there, does it? That looks, let's give it a bit of a, right, so you sort of like come along here and then sort of like, I'm going to join that in because it looks, see if you notice I'm going around the edges and then possibly giving it a bit of a highlight there, here somewhere. Oh, I've left the lid off. Look at me leaving the lids off again. Right, here's the lid. I'm terrible for leaving lids off. Just tell me, just say to me, put them lids on. Right, because I don't, not very good at that. Right, so let's come along here and do this. Okay, and so there you go. Oh, you can obviously, you can highlight a nose and things like that, can't you? Because that, if you notice, people's noses have highlights. They might not like it, but they do. Right, so perhaps a little, especially at the end there. You probably can't see that very well, but it is white. Possibly down there, it's the same as this, but the other way. And then, and perhaps the ears as well. Top of the lip. That bit of the chin sometimes. I do a bit more shading underneath the eye actually. Looks a bit like it needs a bit more. Older people would sometimes have lines there, but that would age a picture. So unless you want it to look old, don't do that. Give her a bit of colour on the lips. Again, I'm going around the edge. No, it's the other way around. I've done the wrong way around. Never mind. It's supposed to have lights this side. I've done it the other side. There we go. Okay. It's a bit, give it a bit of a. You give them long eyelashes if you like as well. There's your eyelashes there. You're finding them. Especially on the guys, because obviously they have the ones with the long. They have beautiful long eyelashes. Okay. There we go. Ooh. How about that? Give it a bit of a thing there. Okay, a bit of shadow under there perhaps. I've got short hair, I don't know. Right. It's basically okay, isn't it? See, she's not even at all. She's very, very lopsided. I did say even, not evil. Even. Right, so sometimes I've got a bit of a shadow in between. Oh dear, that's too much. It's actually been crying now. Never mind. Or he. There we go. Not got the white. I don't know what that looks like on video. I'm glad I showed you, not that it wasn't off camera there. Just a minute, I can put that in the middle. There we go. Yeah, so I haven't finished drawing that one, had I? So let's just finish that flower off and we'll finish the video. So I'm going to draw it without paint it without the thing, because we can do it with light. We can do a big leaf, little leaf, so we can have some. And you don't even have to do the leaves if you don't want. You can do them different colours and green if you like. But anyway, when I'm drawing fussy, if I'm going to photocopy these flowers, what I'd normally do is put something dark around it, like grey, especially grey. Grey's brilliant for this. I've already got grey on the thing, and then just come along and brilliant for fussy tone. If you're cutting them out, then it's different. You just have to cut them straight out. But fussy tone, this looks well. You can also dot it as well. That looks okay. Okay, like that. Okay, so like that. So I can use some of that hair as well if I'm going to fussy tear that out. Yeah, it looks like it's got flour floating past her head, doesn't she, or he, whatever. Never mind, that was in the way. And I didn't plan it, did I? So, I only planned to show you some watercolour flowers. There we go, let's get round this one. Oh, I haven't done the highlighting and things on this, have I? Let's get some of this. Because you can rub the pencil lines out if you can still see them, but usually with mine you can't actually see them. Oh, that's a piece of let's get some white. No, I still do this. I still would do this, even if it's not. Okay, and then give it a bit of a thing, possibly very, very lightly pen on there, just resting it on the paper as I go around, so it possibly misses a few strokes there. There, so how about that? So I hope you liked my little tutorial today, just on how to paint a negative space, things like that. Negative space, remember, drawing a hand, that is your next thing to do, that sort of like shape there, that's your negative space. And so please subscribe to my channel, please give me a thumbs up, please share my video, and please press the notification bell with your crafty fingers, and join my Facebook group. Thank you. It's all about junk journals. Yay. And I'd love to see you there. Shame if you've joined any, shame if you've done any or learnt anything from this tutorial as well. Okay, I mean that looks absolutely fine. If your flower ends up like that, that's very arty. Dog, it's creasing my look, it's creased my paper. Right, get down then. No, don't touch those, no nannies. Okay then, and bye bye. Goodbye and take care. Thank you. Bye.